Good afternoon, everybody. Happy fall. It's October 14th, time for another chat. And let me see, let me get everything working here. So we always start off with a little humor. That one is 100% organic. It's the smallest pumpkin in the pumpkin patch. I like to do my raking early in the day before my next door neighbor gets up and catches me in his yard. Oh my, you're all dressed like Washington politicians or clowns. Rats, more hand sanitizer and another face mask. So there might be some disappointed kids this Halloween. We also accept Apple Pay, Google Wallet, and PayPal. Why have the other vegetables learned nothing from candy corn? Excuse me. Good question. No active resident cases of COVID-19 at this time, no active associate cases. Show you the COVID tracker. You can see that the numbers continue to trend pretty stable, coming down a little bit over the last couple weeks. Our numbers have been really good here. The state of Texas is nearing 800,000 cumulative cases since this all began. You've probably been watching that on the news. We're still red hot state with a little over 2,500 cases per day. So our numbers from the very beginning, we've had 9 cases total, residents, all recovered. We've had 15 cases amongst our associates, and they're all recovered. Total testing that we've included in our numbers, which is residents, staff, and private caregivers, is 1,841. And sure, that number is going up pretty rapidly because we're doing weekly testing on all healthcare associates, nursing associates. Infection rate is 1.58%. That number continues to go down for us. It's a really good number. Again, the do's and don'ts of how to wear a mask. I think everybody knows how to properly wear a mask, but make sure you cover your nose, your mouth completely. Make sure you sanitize your hands before you put the mask on and after removing the mask. We will be entering into phase 2 reopen on Wednesday, November the 4th. I had hoped to do that at the end of October, but our staff, our leadership believes that November 4th is a more reasonable date. We'll have all of our areas ready by then and all of our procedures in place. You will be receiving a communication that looks similar to this. You received a similar communication when we did reopening our phase 1, which is back in June. So we're looking at November 4th. It's the day after Election Day. What does phase 2 mean? Staff resident-led activities are increased to 20 or less. Some limited indoor activities for up to 30 in Harrisville Hall with sign-up sheets, social distancing, and mask. Up to 50 for outdoor activities with social distancing in place. The Laurel Dining Room will reopen to 50% capacity. That's about 70 people with social distancing in place. We will have a reservation system. I'll get into that in a little bit. Visitation will be increased to 2 per day as available appointments. 2 visitors per visit and designated locations and by appointment only. We're going to stick to the 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. through the month of November. I hope to open those hours up further to maybe 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. In December. Limited service providers allowed for IL residents with appointments set through the resident services office. So if you have someone that's provided services for you in the past, you may be able to have some of those limited appointments. Question and answers. Are we allowed to meet with family members in the lobbies? No. Visitation is allowed in designated areas only at this time. Appointments to visit should be scheduled through the reception desk. How do our associates get COVID-19? Well, similar to the way the residents get it. through various means. Some have been through contacted doctor's offices, actually, contact with loved ones outside of Westminster community. Maybe their mother was sick, or didn't know that she was sick, and they were transporting her or something in a vehicle and ended up getting it that way. In limited instances, contact with our residents. Most of the time, it's not that. It's typically outside of the Westminster community. It's, our residents and associates are doing their very best to protect themselves and their families and all of us from COVID-19. And we really are proud of our associates and the steps that they've taken and the precautions that they've been following to keep themselves safe and their families safe and our residents safe. What is our meal program going to look like? That's a good question. Our dining program, of course, will continue. Our Laurel Dining Room will reopen to 50% capacity on November the 4th at 11 a.m. The hours of operation will be from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day. Last seating will occur at 7 p.m. We will continue to provide meal delivery to your homes. There will be no buffet going forward and no self-service. This is necessary due to the possibility of cross-contamination and spreading COVID. There will be a limited menu to start, which will expand over the next few weeks as we ramp back up to serve in our restaurant. Continental breakfast will continue to be delivered for the next few weeks to your homes. The following slides were prepared by the Food and Beverage Department to address the reopening. So again, the Laurel Dining Room will reopen for service soon. Again, we expect that to be November the 4th. It's a Wednesday. This reopening comes with new dining procedures that all residents will be required to follow in order to maintain proper health and safety precautions to prevent potential spread of the virus. When the Laurel reopens, we will still be offering a weekly delivery menu for residents who choose to dine in their homes. We are wanting to create a system that is flexible to meet the needs of all of our residents. We want to encourage residents who would like to get out of their apartments to adopt a blended dining style, which would allow residents to choose to dine in the Laurel or still have delivery and pickup. Maybe you can do a little bit of both. What dining will be like in the Laurel? Residents will be required to make a reservation for their dining times. When making a reservation, residents will have the option to make standing reservations for any date and time frame that suits their dining needs. So for example, if you would like to eat every Thursday at 6 p.m., you would only need to call and make that reservation once, and only call again if you needed to change or cancel that reservation. Just make sure you communicate that you would like a standing reservation at the time you set. This is similar to what we've been doing in the bistro for a couple years. You can set a reservation time. Maybe you want to eat every day at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. You can set that time. In order to ensure that all residents who choose to dine in the Laurel can be served, all reservations will be a 1-hour time frame. That's necessary because we can only allow 70 residents at a time to eat in the Laurel Dining Room due to the COVID precautions and social distancing. Reservations will be canceled if the party doesn't arrive within 15 minutes of their allotted time. We will only be taking reservations for parties to a maximum of 4 residents per table at this time. Once you've made your reservation, you will come down to the Laurel and you will be required to check in with the host, who will go over the rules of dining in the Laurel. To make or modify a reservation, please call 512-600-7331 or contact the reception desk. But the direct line to reservations is 512-600-7331. All residents must wear their mask at all times in the dining room unless actively eating or drinking. This rule will be enforced. So, when your drinks arrive and your food arrives, you can take your mask off, but you should have it on until the food and drink arrives. Once you're finished with the food and drink, you should put your mask back on. This rule will be enforced. All residents will receive a one-time use menu, which will be recycled after each meal. All silverware will be sanitized and pre-rolled, but we won't have preset silverware on the table. All glassware will be brought to the table as needed, so we won't preset glassware. And salt, pepper, sugar, condiments will be brought to the table upon request. All tables and chairs will be thoroughly sanitized between each use. Residents may not join other residents at a different table once you have been seated. You must only dine with the party you have made a reservation with. And we do need you to be cognizant of social distancing practices. All chairs will be placed and spaced according to adhere to proper social distancing, so please do not move the chairs. We understand that our community is a very social and friendly environment. However, we ask for our residents to be understanding of these requests as we adapt to this current dynamic. So, you know, it's different, but it's better than what we have had the last several months. We need to be diligent in observing the precautions and do our best to work with each other, be friendly, be good neighbors, be good stewards, and we'll come through this with flying colors. But it is different. We just need to adjust, and we'll make the most of it. Okay. Questions and answers continue. Many people at Westminster are gathering, and there's a real need for fellowship and socialization, but many are not wearing masks. Is there some way to further encourage mask wearing? And you know, I think a little peer pressure would help. You know, let's all do our best to wear our mask. Please wear your mask at all times. When outside of your apartment home, please do not consume food or drink together until further notice outside of the dining room, and certainly with outside visitors. We will be addressing this as associates do rounds. Please do your best to abide by the rules of wearing masks and social distancing. It's both, not just one or the other. You have to do both for this to be successful. And as we begin to reopen, we're more and more at risk for getting an infection in our community. And when you wear a mask, you're respecting your neighbors and the associates that work here. And I think all of us want to do that. So let's try to keep everybody healthy and do our best to abide by the restrictions we have in place and the precautions. Can we get a more transparent little store charge on our monthly statement? Yes, we're working on this, and you should see an improvement in November statements. You will receive a summary as well as a backup detail of your purchases throughout the month. Can you introduce us to the new Assistant Plant Operations Director and Security Manager? Yes, we will have Brent's picture up next time. I couldn't get it in time for this chat. Our security manager is Mario Alejandro. He is a really good guy. He has 30 years of experience in security and a degree in criminal justice. We're really happy to have him. He's doing a great job. Brent Austin has a hotel background, has done plant ops, maintenance for quite a while. He's also been a great addition to the team. Brent was added when Dennis retired, which I talked to Phil yesterday, and Dennis is enjoying his retirement, and we're happy for him. Mario's position was added to our staff. I felt the need to add a security supervisor manager to our team as we get larger, and the dynamics of the pandemic and the number of IT issues and systems that we had. Danny really needed to focus on the IT infrastructure and all of the changes that are coming to Westminster over the next couple of years. So our IT services has grown. I think when I started here, we had like 12 computers, and we're at 120 today. So, and a Wi-Fi network, three Wi-Fi networks in the house. So IT is getting more and more complicated. So is security. So it required and was due for some more support. So I expect Mario is going to be a great addition to the team. Flu shots are still available. A lot of you have gotten your flu vaccines already. If you need a flu vaccine, you can get that through an appointment through the wellness clinic. And all you have to do is give them a call, and they can forward your call to them. set up an appointment during the normal business hours, and they'll be happy to help you. Construction update, just thought I'd show you a picture. They're digging the hole, getting deeper and deeper. I'm told that they have about 15 to 20 feet more to go overall, but they're making good progress and they are on schedule. The Windsor Tower addition, you can see where they're taking down the tunnel that was leading to the parking garage, and they built the temporary walls. They're making good progress there, and they'll start to build up that tower. Appreciate everybody's cooperation as we've, started that construction. I know it's been difficult and inconvenient. Just a look ahead schedule. I'm not going to go through this in detail, but just trying to provide this in your packets. You can see where we're at. We're kind of in this week, Wednesday, so we're still demoing. The tunnel removal stopped, was done yesterday, or actually, I'm sorry, it's being done this week. And they're making good progress on that. They're getting ready for some preliminary work on the tower crane that will be used for the duration of the project. So they're doing that. They're continuing to do some nailing of shoring. So they're shoring up the dirt and the walls around the hole as they continue to dig, and they're grinding down rock that is in the hole and transporting all of that out. So very congested up there. We're also beginning to work on the bridge that will connect directly from A-Wing to the Windsor Commons, and that work is going to be starting tomorrow, Thursday. So they'll be putting barricades up for their work zones. So we will not be able to go through there anymore for the drive. We will have to go all the way around the buildings up to the north edge of Windsor and go out that way. And we are sharing that roadway, that drive, with the construction folks. So please be careful as you exit up there at the north, especially on days that they're transporting material, which is usually done in the morning. The healthcare center entrance, the circle driveway has been completed. The parking's ready. So if residents need to visit, or they're having visitors up that north end, there's about 12 spaces to use there. We will be using, still maintaining the visitor parking area over here between the two buildings the best we can. We will not have these 9 spaces that are in the work zone, and that work zone should last it's about 6 months as they do that bridge work. They may get it done a little faster, we'll see. Just be aware, I think Sarah mentioned it in her meeting, new speed bumps have been added to Jackson Avenue. This was coming, we knew that it was coming, and also the street lights are being activated on Bull Creek and Jackson. So be aware of that. Please use caution with these new changes, and be aware that they can damage your vehicle if you're not being careful through there. I think everybody's aware, but I wanted to mention again, on Wednesdays from 2 to 4, we are continuing to offer tours of common spaces and apartments to prospective residents. The tours are usually limited to 30 minutes, and the individuals are being pre-screened. We do ask that residents abide by the precautions and stay out of the common spaces and hallways between the hours of 2 and 4 on Wednesdays. And we thank you in advance for your support and cooperation. I know you know as well as I do that we have to continue to occupy our apartments and to be viable for Westminster's future. Just some reminders. Please do not flush incontinence items down the toilet. That is what caused the backup and damage to the Preston plumbing that we had to have fixed in our courtyard. It was quite a mess. So please make sure that you're not, and your employees, your private sitters, are not flushing incontinence items down the toilet. Please maintain social distancing standards of 6 feet at all times. I know that that's going to be really hard when we're opening these dining rooms or passing in the halls, but please do your best to maintain that distance. Please wear your mask properly at all times. Please don't pull down your mask to talk to us or others when you're out in the common spaces. Please wash and or sanitize your hands often. If you have laundry issues, please call Connie at extension 2268 or contact Antonio. Independent living visitation reminder, you may schedule, this is during phase 1, which we continue until November 4th. You may schedule your weekly visits with reception. Visits may take place in designated locations only. Visits are limited to 1 person for 1 hour. Social distancing and masks must be worn. No eating or drinking during this time. And associates will address residents and visitors that are not following the protocols. So please follow the protocols. I want to congratulate Cassie, Haley, and Joe Sanchez on a fantastic Alzheimer's Texas fundraising campaign. And they had a great committee working on this. It was a group effort, but they raised the most ever, $76,852.19 for Alzheimer's Texas. And that exceeds all of the LCS communities across the country, 140. And I believe it's going to be the top fundraiser in Texas this year. So great job on a job well done there. Thank you. Thank you for your support. Real quick slide on health center visitation guidelines. They are allowing outdoor visitations to be scheduled. A visit between a resident and 1 visitor that occurs in person in a dedicated outdoor space. Masks must be worn and social distancing must be maintained at all times. It's done by appointment only Monday through Friday between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. Visitation is limited to 45 minutes and it's 1 visitor at a time. Social distancing and masks must be worn at all times. All scheduling for outdoor visitation will go through Jamila Arnold, the administrative assistant over there, and her extension or her number is 512-600-7340. Again, that's Jamila, and her number is 512-600-7340. Please understand that if any staff members or residents test positive for COVID-19, the healthcare center is required by regulation to restrict and shut down visitation for a period of at least 14 days with no additional COVID-19 cases identified. So it's really important that we help everyone abide by the precautions that we have in place so that we can continue to have visits in our healthcare center and other areas of the campus, and also to advance into further phases of reopening. If we get cases, we will not be able to stay in the current phases, phase 2, which we hope to achieve November 4th. So in November, our team is coming up with a gratitude challenge. Think Thankful. It's a Westminster 30-day gratitude challenge. Gratitude is paying attention to the good things in life we'd otherwise take for granted. Gratitude can change our focus and help us to refrain what is happening in our lives. To practice gratitude, take time to think about people or things that bring comfort, peace, humor, or joy to your life. Don't hurry through your day. Be aware of your feelings and take time to savor these gifts in your imagination. Be especially aware of the depth of your gratitude. In this way, focusing on gratitude doesn't become a list of pleasant things, but instead you can make deeper connections to the things that you value and spend time appreciating them. And we truly have a lot of things to be thankful for. I think sometimes we focus on the negative, the things that are wrong instead of the things that are right. And if you take a moment just to look around, there's a lot of positive things happening here at Westminster and in our community. So please, let's all join together and participate in this gratitude challenge that begins in November. We're going to have some trees, some gratitude trees, thankful trees throughout the community, and that starts November 1st. Stop to add a leaf representing what you're personally grateful for. I'll get started. Here are a few things that I'm thankful for. around our Westminster community, things I've been thinking about recently. You know, I think our great residents, I appreciate all of you so much. Our superb associates, really look around. There are an incredible group of people serving our Westminster family here. And it's a very, Westminster itself is a very special community. And we should be thankful and grateful for it. I'm grateful for the sunshine, right? The smiles I see walking around the campus, even through the mask. I can see the residents and the associates smiling when they are encountered. And the beauty that surrounds us throughout the community, the art that we get to enjoy, many of the art pieces being created by our very own residents, the campus grounds. I get to look out my window every day at rose bushes and yellow bells and a beautiful fountain and residents out there enjoying it. And the kindness that is shared daily in our communities. And also I'm grateful for and thankful for the great neighbors and friends that we have here in Westminster. So let's be thankful, let's be grateful, let's practice that in November especially with the election. We need to be as positive as we can nowadays. Who's behind the mask? This is a second chance opportunity. If you didn't win the first Who's Behind the Mask contest, here's another opportunity to win. On Thursday, October 22nd, you will get an entry form in your cubby. There will be 12 masked residents. Identify them and turn in your completed forms to either the Preston or Windsor reception desk by 5 p.m. on Monday, October 26th. The grand prize is a nice wine basket from Central Market, which looks fantastic. And that'll be giving you another reason to be thankful and grateful. So there you go. Let's see. Also, Fall Festival. Our Fall Fest is a little different this year. We won't be having the big Halloween party, right, because of the COVID and social distancing and all that. But we're going to have some fun on Friday, October the 30th. We're going to have grab and go booths located around the community for residents and associates to participate in. We hope everybody dresses up for Halloween on this date as well. We will have grab and go booths located in the Healthcare Center lobby, the marketing lobby, the Preston Courtyard, the Laurel Dining Room, and the EVS office area, so by the Art Hall. And there'll be various activities and treats to be picked up along the way. So come on out and enjoy it and have some fun with us. And that'll be Friday, October the 30th from 1:30 to 3 p.m. So kind of a scavenger hunt, kind of a fall fest. So enjoy it. And by the way, Maria and Michelle's done a fantastic job decorating our community for the fall. And I'm sure Christmas will be even better. Holidays season is upon us, and the holidays will be celebrated at Westminster. Congratulations to John and Marjorie Easton. 75th anniversary was celebrated yesterday on October 13th. Wow, that's impressive, 75 years. So congratulations to the Eastons, and stay strong, stay safe, everybody. Thank you all for making Westminster an extraordinary place to live and work. Appreciate you all very much. Thank you. Bye.